Greetings everybody and welcome back to Let's Play Metroid 2, The Return of Samus. Today, I'll just be alone, but that's okay. We've killed all the Zetas, we've cleared out the Zeta Zone, and we're going to enter the next area of the game, which players like to call, the 3 players who actually play this game, they like to call it the Omega Zone. I wonder why they call it that. I guess we'll have to wait and find out. As you can see from my handy little Metroid counter to the bottom right-hand corner of the screen, there are only 6 Metroids left. And if one of those is the Queen, you guys who can do simple math can figure out exactly how many Metroids are going to be in this area. But don't tell anybody, I don't want to spoil it. Anyhow, I did grab the Spazer in the last video. I did it because this area has some slightly stronger enemies, and the wave beam just, it wouldn't cut it. And I hate the plasma beam. For the passion, the fiery passion that burns. And these areas are getting quite boring. They're actually, it's annoying. They're like little filler areas that you have between Metroid areas. You have to fight a ton of Metroids and then walk to the next Metroid area. I guess they couldn't have them immediately after the other. That would kill the continuity of the game and make it just seem like a giant pit of Metroids. Which it essentially is. We'll get to that a little later. That path to the bottom left that we skipped actually just leads to an acid pit, which hasn't been lowered yet. And of course my beam doesn't penetrate these. I guess I should have stuck with the wave beam, but whatever. There's nothing more satisfying than just jumping through an enemy, though. That screw attack is nice and handy. And I'm still pretty terrible at ascending shafts. But what are you gonna do? We got a large open room. I wonder what could be in it. Oh, it's a Metroid. Wait, oh, it's a baby. Yes. Like I said earlier, even in the final area of the game, well, the final major area of the game, they will throw an Alpha Metroid at you. That's actually the last Alpha Metroid of the whole game, so we can bid adieu to them. We have an earthquake. That usually means that acid has been lowered. So let's go check out what happened. Wasn't it kind of strange? There were 2 eggs in that room with the Alpha, and the acid didn't lower. Well, what's up with that? Was that a false earthquake? I guess we'll have to try again. Maybe it has something to do with that second egg. I really ought to stop trying to fight those guys with the shields on their faces. But the nice, handy, large energy that they drop is just too addicting. As mentioned previously, we have collected 100% of all items and upgrades, so all that remains are the Metroids. And what do we have here? Oh my god! So this behemoth is the Omega Metroid. Now, they're rated a little bit easier on the scale than the Zeta Metroids in difficulty, only because they move a whole lot slower, their aim is terrible, and they don't dive at you as much. That being said, they're still really hard, only in that they take a ton of shots to kill. They take about 40, I believe, missiles to kill, but if you hit them in the back, your missiles do more damage. So if you hit them in the back, it only takes about 14. So I'm kind of hitting them in the front and the back, wherever I can get them, because they don't keep their back turned to you for very long. Once again, they scroll with the screen, just like the Zetas, so there is no escape. And the screw attack bounces them off of you, so it is kind of handy to use that when they dive at you. Now, of course, I'm taking a whole ton of damage because this guy takes up a lot of screen real estate. My guess would be about 1/8 of the screen, so... And trying to imagine playing this on the tiny little Game Boy screen, it's really hard to dodge them. You're gonna get hit. Alright, so another earthquake. This time, though, it's for real, I promise. As you can see, our acid level has dropped, so let's go down into the real Omega Zone. That was just a teaser to get you used to them. The counter says 4 remaining. We're getting very close. I know in my screens that it says 100% collection status, but I really meant completion. So that's why, even though I have all the items collected, my ending screen doesn't say 100% because I'm including the Metroids in it, of course. But you guys already knew that, didn't you? Alright, we've reached another acid pit. But this one actually doesn't descend to another area, it's just here. They did throw a bunch of those in the game, where it's just acid in a room. Environmental hazards, you know the deal. These little platforms are annoying. Every Metroid game, I think, has some area like this, where there's tiny little platforms. They certainly didn't deviate from the formula very often, especially in the 2D Metroids. But that's what we love so much. That and the exploration. Those little bug things clinging to the walls aren't really much of a danger, except that you can't really see them very well, especially if you're moving quickly like I am. And you just kind of run into them a lot as you're going up and down walls. Like that one there. Did you even see him on the left? Or that one there? Yeah. Whatever. So, ominous music. We have entered the Omega Zone proper. And I gotta say, the game's lack of music does bring a lot of people down, but I think that the droning bass line mixed with the higher musical instrument going on here makes this a very ominous kind of area. And rightly so. For we have several large Metroids to kill off. Each of them is at the end of a hallway like this. And I would platform, but for some reason I'm awfully terrible at it, so I'm going to do something I'm also terrible at and try and space jump through here. Because the ground is filled with spikes. Yeah. I'll hit him again just for good measure to show off the damage animation one more time. So, here we are with another Omega. Now, I didn't mention this about the Zetas, but the Alphas and the Gammas you can shoot from underneath, so it's easy to get them trapped on a ledge and you can just blast away at them. But the Zetas and Omegas do not take any damage if you shoot them from underneath, so you have to shoot them from the side. If any of you have been wondering why I was jumping around while shooting them instead of just shooting them from the ground. So that mystery is solved. I'm trying to hit him in the back as much as possible to make these fights shorter, but it's really kind of hard to get him to cooperate. That, and I always seem to be facing the wrong direction when I shoot my missiles. But that's just user error, of course. These guys, also like the Zetas, can scroll through walls as well, so watch out for that. It's like they don't really follow the laws of physics. They just kind of hover. It's not even really a flying. And I wonder why they're born with a tail that is just broken off. Oh. One does not question the design. One simply blasts it with missiles. Wow, my life is getting pretty low. Only have 161 health points. Yeah. Does not bode well, because these Omegas actually do quite a bit of damage when they hit you, and, as I mentioned earlier, I'm pretty awful at dodging them. No matter. We're going down another tunnel, bravely, even with very little life. Well, actually, I'm going to show you this first. That's the acid pit right there that will lead you to the next area, where the Queen lives. But we have to clear out some Metroids before that can happen. We have to wait for that all-too-knowing earthquake to happen. So we're in another vertical shaft, and from this vertical shaft will lead to the other Metroids in this area. One of which is at the end of this hallway. The other of which is elsewhere. But we'll find him. Have no fear. This one we get to fight in the water that doesn't affect you at all. As you can see, his fireballs, like I said earlier, horribly aimed. This thing, it's like it got dumber. It's the stupid big brother of the Metroids. Although, he's not as helpless as the Alpha. I would even posit to say that the Gamma has a better fighting weapon. If the Gamma could move like these guys could, he would be a much bigger threat. Because the fireballs that even the Zetas or the Omega spit out really aren't that dangerous when you get down to it. I don't know why I just pushed him to the ground. That's just stupid. Okay, life's getting pretty low. When your life gets lower, this droning kind of noise starts playing in the background. It's like a bass line kind of drone. You'll probably be able to hear it better when the music stops playing, especially since I'm down to 29 health. Oh, this is getting intense. Will I make it? Will I survive? Who knows? I think I know. Yeah. 20. That's probably the closest to death I've ever gotten in this run. But that's okay, I survived, I lived, but the problem is that 2 Metroids left, one of them is the Queen. There is still 1 Metroid left in this area. And wouldn't you know it, it's gonna be an Omega. So, since these guys drop 20 health, this is actually a really nice place to farm some life, although it takes a while. Yeah. I think 220 is probably good enough to fight this last Omega off over here. What, did you think I was really going to show you the entire life farming segment? I'm not that cruel. Alright, missiles ready. Is everybody ready for this? Oh, what do you know? It's another Omega. Anyway. Yeah. Blast him the exact same way we did the others. For ultimate victory. And here I am pushing him into the ground again like an idiot. Because that totally sets him up to destroy me. I know I say it all the time, but 8 directions to shoot in is a lifesaver. Any of you who started out playing with Super Metroid or even Fusion or Zero Mission would probably be incredibly frustrated at this game if you tried. Simply for the shooting mechanics. That being said, it is still an improvement over the original, as we've discussed, because in the original you couldn't even crouch and shoot. So, that's something, right? You couldn't even crouch at all, actually. You just went straight into Morph Ball. But that's for someone else to discuss. Okay. So we've just defeated the last Omega Metroid. We've actually defeated the final Metroid, aside from the Queen. And it's time to find her lair, hunt that bitch down, and fill her gullet with missiles. Aren't you guys excited? I know I am. We're actually nearing the end of this. We have to climb our way back out of the Omega Zone, though. Get back to that area that I showed you earlier where you can drop down into the floor. Which is actually right in here. So, this was the area that was filled with acid earlier. The Queen is at the very end of this, well, she's at an area at the very end of this tunnel, so I'll actually leave that for a future video. We're not going to do the Queen yet. Bit of information though, there is actually something blocking you here. If you try to sequence break past this part and survive the acid, you can't make it. With that being said, this is MeccaPrime. I'll see you next time.